Hello and welcome back to Aluminium Welding. You join me today on a unique video where I'm going to be attempting to weld together this. It don't look like much now, but hopefully by the end of the video this should be a functional working airbox for a classic car. Hopefully. So these are the pieces that I'm working with today. Gonna be like a Lego jigsaw puzzle to put it together. So because of the thinness of the material, I'm going to be using a 0.6mm tungsten with the white end on it. It's good for AC. Filler wire, I've only got one type of filler wire, which is 2.4mm. And as for the machine that I'm using, my trusty Thermal Arc AC/DC 202. Love this machine. It's the first machine I ever bought and it has served me well. I'm going to dial the machine in with some of these settings already preloaded. So it's going to be high frequency TIG welding on AC aluminum. Base material will be around 1.6mm. And I'm going to be doing a butt weld or a lap joint, I'm not too sure. A variety of these two. So 1.6mm tungsten, 65 to 85 amps, 150 hertz. Post flow, he shows you the whole everything, even the gas. 7 litres a minute, beautiful. The gas I'm using is argon from Hobby Weld, so I'm going to set it up to 7 litres a minute. So I bought this a while ago and it's got all of the sort of sizes that I would ever need, so I'm just going to change out my mild steel one. So I like to buy these cheap little disposable stainless steel brushes. You can get a bunch of them for like £4 and you can throw them away after each job, you know, just so you know you don't cross-contaminate anything. Now I have this. Let me know in the comments if this is good or not. It says it contains acetone, but obviously I am wondering if there's residue that's going to be left over from this. So I'm still trying to learn how to do this type of welding. I can do it to a degree, and you'll see by this video the level of degree that I can do it to. But it's the little steps, the final steps to make your welds perfect that I tend to neglect to do, because I know they're very important, such as like cleaning the rods and wire brushing and all of this sort of stuff. I know they're very important, but it's really difficult to actually have the discipline to do them. I feel like my welds aren't good enough in the first place to warrant needing to spend all this extra time in making the welds perfect when I'm only gonna almost butcher the welds myself. So this time here I'm going to try to do everything perfect and see how the quality of the welds come out, because we often skip steps not knowing the importance of some of these steps. So yeah, I'm going to wire brush this. Like, I give an example, people say wire brush in one direction, not backwards and forwards, so that's what I'm going to do now. Obviously it takes a little bit more effort to do it in one direction. It's easier to go backwards and forwards, but I'm just going to see how good it comes out like this. I can't stress enough the importance of having a clean welding screen. I mean, it is one of the most important things that you can do, and I would tell you lot to invest in a good quality hood. I really and truly only use speed glass. Because of my circumstances, they were the first mask I ever used, and I stumbled across something great. Now I have reached out to Optral to see if they would sponsor me to send me out a mask so I can at least make a review and let you lot know what my opinions are on Optral. They're not really too interested, and unfortunately I'm not going to spend my own money doing it when I've got thousands of pounds worth of welding masks in the first place. So if at any point I do manage to secure some kind of something where I can share my thoughts on Optral, or Optral, I don't know how to say it, then that will definitely be a video that I'll be making. But honestly, you need a good quality mask. An auto darkening one, obviously, it has so many more benefits than a fixed shade one. So I'm not sure if you caught in the last video, I do mobile welding, so hit me up if that's what you're interested in. Links in the description. Don't worry, there's going to be plenty more arc shots to do in this video. I just need to get this awkward piece out of the way, and then I can show you lots of nice arc shots. So the first part is done, and I got a little bit carried away with wanting an easy weld to test out, and I've probably made it harder for myself to fabricate the rest. So yeah, it is what it is. So what's gonna happen next? This piece is gonna go here. This piece is gonna go here. Is gonna go on the end over here. So looking at this now, you can see how the fabrication of this plate just isn't quite good enough. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do about filling gaps or cutting this down and doing another butt weld. These here are the most expensive cutting discs I've ever bought. £79 plus VAT for 50 of them. I got bumped. This, like I said in the last video, I'm sponsored by Fine. This is a bad boy right here. Brushless die grinder. I believe it does something like 18,000 RPM. You hear that power? So the parts are sorted, they are finished. Tell me what you think about my welding. I'm happy with it. Obviously it's not the best. It's not the best in the world, but it's not too shabby. It is not too shabby. Feel free to shout in the comments tips and things like that. Let me know how I can improve. Bear in mind I don't have a foot pedal, so the amps are a bit hard to control. So like here when I was doing the back piece, the amps were too high because this plate here is a lot thicker than the rest, so I had the amps higher for that one. 70 amps for the front, and when it got hot, as low as 50 amps for the thin stuff. So I'm going to quickly wire brush it up now. And here's the second piece. So now this bracket here can be bolted onto somewhere, and then it can feed air through a silicone hose to that one.